joining me is a former Victorian Liberal Party President, Michael Kroger. Hi there, Michael. So what did you think of the tone that she struck just now?
Well, I think Sussan Ley's a class act. She's been through an incredibly difficult time with the National Party, the fallout from the election, obviously great discontent in the Liberal Party over the election result back in May last year. She took over the leadership at an incredibly difficult time. I thought she was superb during Bondi, absolutely superb. Her empathy for the Jewish community was, I thought, was just wonderful. It showed what type of person she was. Problem is that, what I and others might think is not reflected in the polls, and that's why the members of the Federal Parliamentary Party are doing what they're entitled to do under our processes, which is call on a spill, and presumably that'll happen late today or tomorrow. I think Susan's been excellent, but obviously she's had critics around the place. Taylor's, as James Patterson said, he's got a phenomenal intellect, and if he wins, I'm sure he'll do incredibly well. So these are matters for the Parliamentary Party, and I just wish all my friends there well, so we can get back onto the main game, which is getting rid of this terrible Albanese government, Ley.
Do you think it's true there's this sentiment of Angus Taylor can't do worse? Change or die? These are some of the strong comments that we heard out of James Patterson, and that there'll be, at this rate, there'll be nothing left by the next election and so on.
Well, I hope he's wrong, but I think if everybody in the Federal Parliamentary Party performed as well as Patterson did, we'd be 20% in front. So that guy's a star, and everybody knows that. It's obviously, this is all weighed heavily on him. The thing is for the party to, because there's a terrible budgetary situation, is to set a tone in the next few months, whether it's Susan or Angus. They have to set a tone. How do we portray ourselves to the working middle class, right? The cost of living crisis has smashed the working middle class. What does the Liberal Party say to appeal to those people? Because they are essentially the voters that are traditionally voting Liberal at the minute. They've switched to One Nation. We all understand the reasons why. What is the Liberal Party going to do under Susan or Angus to win back those voters? And that's the challenge for the Federal Parliamentary Party going forward. It's a big challenge, but it's certainly not insurmountable. Don't forget, this time last year, February last year, Peter Dutton was favourite to win the election. He was going to win 72 seats, and you'll see what happens in 3 months. So things can turn around very quickly in politics, as we've seen over the decades.
But you don't think that voters have turned to One Nation because of their economic policies?
No, they've turned to One Nation because of the cost of living crisis, mass immigration, Islamic terrorism, and just a general disillusionment with the way the government, the Liberal Party's been running. I mean, with the division with the National Party, et cetera, of course that's going to affect your vote. Hanson's been very strong on one issue for 30 years, given the rise of Islamic terrorism in this country, as we've seen by the shocking incidents in Bondi, disgusting behaviour by these Islamic extremists. People have had enough. So the question of the party is, how do you set a tone which will win back all of those people? And that's the challenge for the Liberal Party federally going forward.
Bringing it back to state politics, we have a lot of discontent about what's happened with the CFMEU, the corruption report, the redaction. How do you think Jacinta Allen is going to come out of this?
Well, I think poorly. I see Neil Mitchell's calling on her to resign. Mitchell is right on this, as he usually is. Will she resign? No. What else is she going to do? I mean, if she had any skerrick of decency, Jacinta Allen would resign. She's bankrupted Victoria. Victoria is lawless. It's chaotic. And we're now seeing these allegations of corruption and bikie gangs on the big bill that she's been so much a part of. I mean, debt in Victoria, gross debt in Victoria is about to approach $300 billion in the next couple of years. I mean, Victoria is broke. It's broke. And these freewheeling Labor governments that buy elections by spending like drunken sailors, it's appalling. And now we see the CFMEU mired in these allegations. They are one of the biggest donors to the ALP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If ever a government should be banished to the backbenches forever, this is this Labor government under Jacinta Allen. She's been there since day one. She is the problem in Victoria. All of this has happened on her watch. Victoria is not a safe state. The Melbourne CBD is not safe. And so let's just hope November this year, the coalition under Jess Wilson can take the reins of power, which will be an enormous relief lay to all Victorians.
And what Jess said about the Royal Commission, calling for a construction watchdog, referring corruption to the anti-corruption watchdog, do you think that will fix things in construction?
Probably not, because things have sunk so low in Victoria over the decades under the Labor Party, it's going to take a generation to clean it up. But every builder knows that, there's a premium on in Victoria. If you build on a union site, you have to pay a premium to all sorts of organisations and people. That's why a lot of builders don't want to build in Victoria. That's why we have a crisis in the building industry here. The Royal Commission will uncover a lot of this, but boy, it's going to take a long time to fix it up. But Jess Wilson's very steely, and if anyone can do it, she can.
But a lot could also happen in the 10 months between now and the election.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacinda Allen will get out the Labor playbook, which will be to, make a few mealy-mouthed comments about how we're referring all this and we're looking at it and we're fixing it all up. They'll go to the election buying votes. They'll offer free public transport, free this, free everything, which is just a synonym for more massive public debt increases. But that's what Labor will do. And in a cost of living crisis, discounts or free things are very attractive to the electorate, as we saw in May last year. The fact that Albanese has plunged the federal budget into crisis, the national debt's going to be 1.2 trillion in, through 2 years' time. This is the politics of the hot potato. You just buy election victories in any way you can, lie about the state of the budget and the economy, and pass the debt down to the next poor bugger that takes over after you. That's the Labor playbook, and that's what Jacinda Allen will be doing in Victoria.
Who votes for fiscal discipline?
Well, that is absolutely the correct point to make that I make to my Liberal colleagues. The constituency for debt, no one wants to vote for debt reduction. Everyone just hopes it'll go away. And for as long as Jim Chalmers says debt's not a problem, people think, oh, well, they listen to the Treasurer, they think debt's not a problem, they can keep spending. No, the problem is debt is a massive problem, and the Liberal Party can't win an election without focusing on debt, because they will never win a spend-a-thon against Labor. So what do you do in that situation? Yep. I think what the federal Liberal Party should be doing until such time...
We're seeing that happen in many countries around the world, spending their way out. Thank you so much for your time. Michael Kroger.